it's Imogen and welcome back to Colouring Kid. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video I'm going to be sharing my colouring plans for the autumn and Halloween season. Last year I was looking back at the video that I did. I was quite stripped back in terms of what I wanted to do, which I think was very sensible, but I thought for this video I would expand it out a bit and share quite a few things just in case you get any inspiration or you see a page in a book that you had forgotten was there. So obviously I'm not going to get to all of these. I must have like 20 books here to share with you, so maybe even more. So there's no way that I will be able to get to all of them, but I love flipping through my books, picking pages out and getting inspiration, and then if and when I have time to get to them, I already have that choice laid out for me and it's a lot easier. So we're going to get started with a whip and a page that I've wanted to get to for a very long time, and then move into newer pages and things that I've picked out, and then at the end I'll return to some things that I've kind of picked out before that I may have shown that will probably be unrealistic and I definitely won't get to, but I'd like to share them anyway with you. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I'd love to hear in the comments what pages you're hoping to work on and which books you're hoping to work in during this period. So this is basically everything for September and October. As soon as November starts I tend to start working on Christmassy things, but yeah, the likelihood of me getting many pages done is quite limited anyway, so we'll see if I manage to do some wintry pages. But the first page I have is my ongoing whip, which I've now started. It's been about a year now. I think I started this maybe in late October, beginning of November, so yeah, it's been ongoing for a while, but yeah, this is how it's looking so far. So I did do the campfire when I came back in the Christmas holidays, and yeah, I haven't done any since then. I still do have most of the pencils kind of aside in my pencil case, but yeah, the bit that I was working on was the ground, and it's just very detailed. And when I'm at uni, it's not really something that I'm drawn to doing because I need something that's a lot more simple to take my mind off things. So we will see when I get back to this. I'm not even sure, it could be another year. This could be something that I work on this time next year when I'm no longer at uni, but yeah, I love it. There's nothing that's gone wrong yet where I'm not enjoying the page. It's just simply that I haven't had time or the energy and capacity to really sit down and work on it. So that is that page. Sorry, I didn't even say the book. This is the Colouring and Spotting book, Brown Bear Wood, illustrated by Freya Hartis, and I adore this book. So sprinkled in this video there will be a couple of pages that aren't strictly autumnal, but it's something that I would still like to work on during the autumnal season. So we have Secret Worlds by Stephanie Law. I'm not going to ramble on about this page because I have mentioned it a lot and I didn't get to it in the summer holidays. Now, I was going to take this book away with me, but then I just thought, realistically, when I decided I was going to work on my Beautiful Planet big double spread, I did think to myself, am I really going to be able to get to this detailed picture? And I didn't, and I'm glad that I didn't take it just for the sake of it. But I did just really miss flicking through all the pages. They're gorgeous, and yeah, there are definitely appropriate pages in here for autumn, but I would still love to work on my turtle page, yeah, at some point. I think it would be really lovely and something a bit different from all the autumnal colour palettes, because obviously for me autumnal colour palettes don't include blue a lot, so it would be really nice to have this to work on. So yeah, that is a planned page that will happen at some point. I know it's the first page I want to do in this book, it's just when I get a chance to do it. So that's Secret Worlds by Stephanie Law. Then we have Small Victories by Joanna Basford. I have just recently done 2 pages in this, which if you haven't seen my last video, they will be in a completed pages video at the end of September-ish, or sometime in October, for all my completed pages from basically April until end of September. But I have loads of pages picked out for this. Sorry, it's been so long since I've done a video, I'm just all over the place. Some are autumnal, some are just other pages that I would like to do. So let's just go through them. This one I specifically wanted to do because when we were in Italy, in Rome, we went to the Doria Pamphili gallery, and there were some beautiful armchairs and sofas that had like gorgeous fabric on them. And I was really inspired to do this page. I have the colour palette set out already in mind. So I think that would be a really good one to do whilst I'm at uni, or even next week when I have a bit of time when I'm doing work experience and I'm away. But what I do know is that it's going to be quite a muted colour palette, which actually might work very well for autumn. So that's a planned one. Then we have this, which I just picked out purely because it's one of the most recognisable autumnal spreads in this book. And again, this one with the mushrooms. These pages I always find kind of tricky to do. I've done one of them in this book, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it now. I don't know. They're not my favourite pages, purely because there's so many different elements. Here's the one I've done. It just takes me so long because I'm trying to give attention to each one and make sure each one looks good, and you know, keep all the colours mixed around the page. And yeah, they are quite a lot. I would maybe like to try and incorporate them somehow into one scene so that I don't feel like they're all so separate. Maybe just bring the grass together for all of them. But I think this is an unlikely page that I would manage to get to. I picked this one out for Space Timber. I've never participated in Space Timber, and again, I don't know if this is one that I will manage to get to, but I thought I'd pick it out anyway. That would be a fun one, something a bit different. And then I completed this last year, and I think it would be really nice to do this opposing page in similar colours. So my idea for this was to do the backgrounds the same. So this green colour I think would be the background for all of them, so they would all look the same, or maybe I'll alternate and do some slightly darker, some slightly lighter. And then obviously there's going to be other colours incorporated, quite a lot of brown and dark red and things like that, but I want to bring the purples across as well. So the colour palette's halfway there for that, which would be quite an easy one to do. And then this one, which is the autumnal wreath. So I have done the summer wreath, and it would be nice to do the autumnal one, but again, it's something I picked out last year. I'm not sure how it is, how likely it is that I will get to it. And I think if I was to do a floral page, I'd rather give my attentions to something else and come back to this at a later stage, because a lot of the other things I picked out aren't too floral heavy. You know, they are animal based and things like that, apart from the one that I showed at the beginning. So yeah, I think I would prefer to do a Layla Dooley page in this case with if it's just flowers, but we will see. So that's Small Victories. That's always coming with me to uni, so you know, there are many options in that. Then we have my I Believe in Fairies colouring postcards. Now again, the completed page that I did in here will be shared in my completed pages video, which will be at some point, but I shared it on Instagram as well. So I absolutely loved getting back to these. I haven't done one for ages, like going on 2 years now. So yeah, it was a joy to work on this again, and I have been inspired to come back to this. I would eventually love to finish these. My problem is that I have a lot of winter pages still left to do. So when I have more time, maybe next year, maybe the year after, I want to dedicate time to just working on these postcards. So, because look, I have, I think 5 wintry ones to do, and then 3 Halloween, 2 summer and 2 spring. So the Halloween ones I could have picked from were these 2 and this one. And I was thinking about it really hard, like what I wanted to do, but in the end I think I would really like to do this one. I think that the light sources would be really fun and interesting to do. I haven't decided what her skin tone will be. I think I'd be a little bit scared to try and be adventurous and do maybe a green skin tone, make her look like Elphaba. Maybe I will do a lighter skin tone and then add bits of green in it. I don't know if that'll look weird. Maybe I should just take the plunge and do green. But yeah, this one I can just see all the light sources looking so cool, and it's nice that I know that it will be a dark background, and so I don't have to worry about the background colour. That's what I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't really know what the background colour will be, and although this one's a lot less detailed, there's just quite a lot of big areas, and you don't have to worry about the fur, and I think the colours will be more interesting in this one. So yeah, I think that could be really fun. So that's on my radar. And then we also have the Karolina Kubikowska postcards. Now, this time last year I did one from the Halloween autumn section as well, actually, and I haven't managed to get to them since, which is such a shame, but I have picked out a few that I think would be really quick and easy to do, so I'm hoping that I can either take these to uni and get one done or finish one before I head. Yeah, I think this would just be literally a couple of hours. I love this one. I think that the hedgehog's so cute, and the mushroom. This bear I've had picked out before. I'm actually quite surprised to see that it's in the autumn section, because to me this would have given more of a summer vibe, but it definitely is in the autumn. Yeah, it definitely is. But I really like the mushrooms. I think that could also be a really, really sweet one to do. And then the last one I had picked out was this, which I definitely think would take the least amount of time. But again, quite a sweet one. Not too... I could make it autumnal. I guess the thing that's making it a bit spookier, the cat ghosts coming from the steam. So yeah, I'm not sure which one I'm kind of leaning towards more. Maybe the hedgehog one. But yeah, it'd be really lovely to get another one of these done. And the only thing is they're quite tricky to get back into this box, which is why I left them half undone. And I think I'll do the same thing again, putting these away. Yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. So they are the Karolina Kubikowska Memories postcards. Then we have Walk in the Woods by Layla Dooley, and I would desperately love to get to this book and do something in this. The pages that I've done on this so far haven't really been autumnal oriented, and this book is full of autumnal pages, much more so than Beautiful Planet. And I've had so many of these pages picked out before, and I haven't managed to get to them. Now, I have just completed my huge double spread in Beautiful Planet, which again I will share properly in a future completed pages video, but I have shared it briefly in my past Italian stationery haul video, because I worked on it during the summer holidays when I was away in Italy. But yeah, again, I won't have on too much about these specific pages because I have shared basically all of them before. I think the hedgehog's adorable. There are quite a few pages in this book that I could tackle if I don't have much time, which is most likely. But this one I'd love to do as a double spread, so I don't think I'll have time for that, but I love it. And we have this one, which I think would be a bit more manageable, and I would be really excited to go in and add more details. I need to go fill in the black background here. And I'd get my mushroom fix without actually doing one of the mushroom pages, which I'll share in a second. So that would be really fun. The only thing is that, again, if I'm working on this during uni, I want to try and make things look realistic. And sometimes the whole realistic colouring thing, I don't have the capacity for. I want something that's a bit more mindless and free with the colour choices. So I do think that this would be something better worked on either before I go back to uni or when I'm back. And obviously I won't be working on autumnal pictures then. But I love that one. And then these two. I just think this spread is absolutely gorgeous. One of my favourites in the book. And yeah, they are dream pages. But I don't think I'll be able to get to them, unfortunately. And, oh, I have one more. I'd forgotten I had one more. Oh yeah, the fox as well. I think that would be, you know, a nice, quick, simple one. I'd be a bit scared to do the fur because not all of the lines are given. But yeah, that would be a really sweet one to do. So I have a lot picked out in there. Perhaps I'll go for something more simple, or unfortunately I might not be able to get to it at all. But I have had my Layla Dooley fix and I've absolutely loved working in Beautiful Planet. So I do have a couple of pages to share from that later. But like I said, the books that I'm showing at the end are the ones that I really don't think will be likely that I'll get to. But yeah, that's Walk in the Woods. Then we have Makiko and Atome's Well Master Your River Journey sketch. I would love to get to this. I haven't got to this for a very long time and I've been meaning to get back to it. So I haven't worked in the autumn section yet, or the summer. I tried to get to the summer section in the summer and it didn't happen. The double spread from Layla Dooley's Beautiful Planet just took up a lot of time, which I was really happy to spend on it. But yeah, the holidays have just gone so unbelievably quickly that I got a few things done before we went away, but then the whole of August I was basically working on my double spread. So it's really the last few weeks now that I have to get a head start and do some pages. So I could do this page for Space Timber, but it is part of the summer section, so I'm more inclined to stick to the autumn one and see if I can get something done. I've got the title page for the autumn season picked out, and then also the Halloween page. So this is one of the only actual Halloween pages I think I've picked out. So I picked this out last year. I'd love to do it. I'm not sure if it'll happen, but I would just adore doing that one. I think the other one that really caught my eye last year was this one, yeah, with the mushrooms. So we'll see what I end up doing mushroom wise, but I do really love colouring them and coming up with the different colour palettes. So that also could be a nice one. And I feel like there's more of an indication of a background, you know, with the circular sort of framing around it, whereas this one I would be a bit scared about what to do for that. So maybe I should also put a flag on that mushroom one. I think I will. That could be fun. That could be really fun. So that's Wild Masquerade Journey sketch. Then we have, oh geez. Then we have Minorizer de Europa by Ruth Berlin. And again, I had loads of pages picked out for the summer to do that I didn't end up managing to get to, which is fine. But yeah, I've just kind of stripped it back to 2 pages this time. I still want to come back at some point and fix up this page. And I haven't decided about this one yet, but that hasn't happened, which is fine. I might just leave them. But yeah, the double spread that I really want to do at some point is this. And I know that this is a very, very summery page, but my initial plan was to take this book with me and colour this double spread whilst I was in Italy, because this page just really epitomises you know, our holiday. We were staying in the middle of nowhere, in the hills, and it was beautiful. So I would love to do this, and I don't think for me it will necessarily matter when I colour it. I think I can colour it out of season and it will be fine. But if I can get to this at some point, again, by at some point it could be this time next year, I don't know, but I would love to do it. So that's that double spread. And then a page that I've had picked out for a long time that is really inspiring me is this. I've spoken about this page quite a lot before, and originally I was planning to do it in the summer. I actually think it would work really well as an autumnal picture. I know this is a winter page that I've kind of turned it into here, but yeah, I think this could be a really lovely autumnal picture with all of the light sources, the little fire going on here, the lantern. I have spoken about my idea for the background. I want to take this blue, pink, yellow colour kind of gradient and put it in the background with pastels. So that could be really fun. But if I want to do that, I need to put the pastel down before I go to uni, because I don't really take my pastels to uni. I don't take too many supplies with me really. So that would need to be done before. Maybe I will end up doing this page before I go back anyway, but that's a page that's really inspiring me that I want to get to. So most likely it will be that picture. So that's Minorizer de Europa. And then the other Ruth Berlin book I have another one to share later, but we have Die Welt unter der Lupe zu Lande. And again, the page that I planned to do for the summer hasn't ended up happening. I wanted to colour this one and use the colours from the opposing page and transfer them over, but I realised when I was on holiday that I didn't bring a ruler with me, and I wanted to rule out the background a bit so that I had a frame. And then I kind of just didn't get to it, and I was focusing on the double spread. So this one is more summery, so I probably won't get to it, but that was a plan that I had. But autumn wise, I would love to do this page. I have coloured this before, so I think out of the pictures it's more likely I get to the Europa page. But I'd love to see how I colour this now, because it's been probably about 5 years since I coloured it the last time. So yeah, I just absolutely love this wreath page. And the other one that I would love to recreate at some point in this book is the spring wreath. So they are both kind of pages that I did in my first copy that I was really, really proud of, and I would love to kind of do them again. This I kind of class as the summer wreath page, which I think is one of my favourite pages, and then I've done the winter one. So it would be lovely to do that one, but we will see. That's that book. I'm just gonna take a sip of water. So the next book we have is Leon's Journey by Karolina Kubikowska. Now, the page that I picked out for the summer, I actually think would still work very well as an autumnal page. I don't think I necessarily have to not do it. I adore this page, and I had mentioned that I still hadn't fully figured out what I would do for the background. So that's something that I'm still umming and ahhing about. The other thing is that I'm slightly worried, depending what pencils I use. Maybe if I use polychromos it'll be okay. But I'd be worried with more waxier pencils like my Holbeins, that colouring over the pointillism would kind of wash it out a bit. I think polychromos would be a little bit better because they're not as creamy, but I don't want the lines to be lost in any way. So that would be something that I'd need to consider, but I really do adore that picture. And my plan for this, which obviously hasn't happened, is doing a page per season in this book. But the autumn page that I've picked out is this, which I love. I think these tinies are absolutely beautiful. I think my favourite has got to be this little bunny over here. But yeah, I just think it's so cute. Again, it's more of a realistic one, so it would probably be unrealistic that I would get to it, and you know, trying to make them all cohesive in some way I think would be quite tricky. But yeah, it's so beautiful. I love this book. So that's Leon's Journey. Then we have Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lytle-Oberg. Now, there are so many pages that are either autumnal or could be made into an autumnal page. I have gone for ones that are slightly less detailed. There are some really, you know, blatantly obvious ones that definitely are Halloween autumnal, which I haven't picked. So don't worry, these are not the only autumnal pages that you can find in this book. But I loved this one, and I think that this could really be turned into any season. I'm assuming it's meant to be Snow White, maybe not Snow White, maybe Aurora actually. Oh yeah, because there's the scene where all of the animals crowd around her, aren't there? That would make more sense. But yeah, I think this one would be a really sweet one to do, and I could definitely make that autumnal. The other one I had picked out was, if I can get to it carefully, this hedgehog picture, which I think is so cute. Really, really cute. There are more elements to this page, I guess. The other one would be hopefully a little more simple to do aside from the fur. But yeah, they are the ones that I have picked out. I have coloured this fairly recently, so I'm not sure I will prioritise this book over others. You know, if there's an untouched book that I want to work in, or a book I haven't worked in for a long time, I probably will prioritise those and then just rotate them around. So yeah, because I did colour this in March, my bunny page, so that was fairly recently for me. So that's that book. Then we have an untouched book, which is Faune Fragile by Paula Brune. And again, the pages I picked out for the summer season, which I didn't get to, I think could still work well for autumn. I did take a couple away that were definitely more summery, but there's this one which I love. I'm going for more simple vignettes, as you can see, because there are some very detailed pages. This one and this one. So I think if I can't get my Lily Doody fix, one of these would be a really good substitute, and it would be nice to work in an untouched book as well. But this book is absolutely gorgeous. I wanted to do this one, but I feel like that is more summery. So yeah, that would be a lovely one to work in. Then we have two books which I would love to get to before I go back to uni. I'd like to get to one of them. I don't really mind which one. But these are books that I've decided to use exclusively watercolour with. So we have Woodland Watercolour by Claire Therese Gray. And when I was doing my colouring book collection, I realised that I haven't worked in this book for a long time, about 2 years now. And it's really gorgeous. And I have a specific autumn neo colour pan set of 10, which I would like to experiment using in this book. So we have the badger picked out, badger page with some mushrooms, which I think would be a nice simple one to do. And then we have this one picked out, which obviously has a lot more elements going on, but it would be nice to play with masking fluid again and kind of mask some things off and then do a nice wash background with a border put around it and have a bit of fun with that. So hopefully one of those. I'm leaning more towards the badgers. And she's got a new book coming out, a rainforest one soon, which I'm very excited about. And then we have Seasons by Hannah Carlson, which is a book that I've kind of just given over to playing around with and just kind of having fun in it and not worrying about the outcome. So I did this a long time ago. Oh, I say a long time ago, a couple of years, maybe not even that. And I was testing ink tints, and I did use some pencil and acrylic markers and things, but again, I would like to try using that autumn palette on its own and do an autumnal picture. So I think this one's really lovely. The other one that I do like is the autumn bottle page, which I think is back here. Yeah, this one. But my thinking with this is that there's just a lot more, again, going on and more finer details to get into, whereas I feel like this one's a bit more open, especially the background, and it would be a little bit easier to tackle. So yeah, I think that one could be really gorgeous. I'm not really sure what the flowers are meant to be. Maybe oh goodness, what are they called? Passion flowers, maybe. It kind of looks like a passion flower, but I could make them a sunflower yellow. I think that would also work. So I think that could be really nice with an autumnal colour palette. So they are just kind of when I have a couple of hours and I want to just do something fun and playful that I'm not really worried about, you know, what the outcome is. So the books I'm going to show next are ones that I doubt I'm going to be able to get to, but I will show them with you, show them to you anyway. Some of them you would have seen before. They're basically the exact same pictures that I picked out last year. And some of them I just think they're unlikely, basically. So we have A Million Baby Animals, which, again, the pages that I picked out for summer, I think they could still work perfectly for autumn. So this one, although we have the basket of eggs, which I think is more spring-like, we do have the mushrooms down here, so that could work in an autumnal colour palette. And then we also have this one. Again, it's giving more of a spring-summer vibe, but again, I think it could still work because of the mushrooms. So yeah, they are my favourite pages really in the book, aside from, I do love the winter, I love this one, I adore that. So yeah, it just depends. I might just leave those until next year, maybe see if I can work on this one during Christmas, but I will get to this book at some point. But I need to figure out what colouring style I'm going to do in that too. Then we have the Aesthetic Studio colouring book by Hannah Grace Wang, and again this is an untouched book, and the reason I think it's more unlikely that I will get to this is just again because I haven't quite figured out how I want to colour this. The one that I've picked out is the autumn page, and I was dithering about which one. There are lots of other pages that could definitely go for autumn, like this one. There's a magical, yeah, the fairy homes one, which I love. There's the mushroom page. There's another page back here with the crystals and all of the moon elements, which I think would be great, but I just haven't worked out what I want to do. And my initial idea was to do an acrylic marker background and then do the pencil elements. I'm not quite sure how that will work out. So yeah, once I figured out what I want to do, I will work in it. But yeah, that's the Aesthetic Studio colouring book. Then we have Mein Herbst Spaziergang by Ruth Berlin, and again these are pretty much the same pages as last year. I've stripped it back a bit so that I'm not picking quite as many, but yeah, again I think I'd probably prioritise other pages that I've picked out. We have this one, which I think is lovely. Beautiful basket of apples. This one I've had picked out. This is my favourite page in the book. I'd love to do this one at some point, so that is definitely one that I would love to do. And then we have the mushrooms here with the cute hedgehogs. So pretty similar pages to what I picked out last year. I did decide not to flag this double page spread or the other double page spread that I love because I just know I'm not going to be able to get to them. But yeah, I'm not overly happy. I've spoken about this before, you know, with the pages that I've done so far in this book. I also just think that the autumn colour palettes sometimes, and I do like lack inspiration sometimes when a lot of the pages are quite similar. Yeah, and I have to be in the mood for doing patterns and things, which I do love doing on occasion, but something like this I feel like is a lot more fun and playful than, you know, some of the pages I'm not quite sure why I was drawn to them, because they're not things that I would usually be drawn to, but I did have fun doing this one. I'm just not, you know, completely thrilled with how it turned out. So I know I've picked out 3 Ruth Berlin books, but let's not forget her brand new book is also coming out at the end of October, so there might be a suitable autumnal page in that I might carry over into November. I'm so excited for that book. I think it might be my all-time favourite yet, from what I've seen from the sneak peeks. So that is The Autumn Walk by Ruth Berlin. Then we have Shooting Star by Maria Troll, and I would love to work in this again, but I did work in it fairly recently. Again, I know March, April time might seem like a very long time ago for some people, but for me, I only get a few pages done every couple of months, so I do have to think about rotating my books as best I can. But yeah, the pages that I've picked out in here, again, there are so many that you can make autumnal. I thought the first page would be a really nice one. Nothing, you know, about it in particular struck me as it being autumnal, but I guess you could make the background a you know, sun setting or something like that. Then I picked this one out, which I thought was really sweet, with the little mouse. That's gorgeous, and you could definitely make that autumnal. And then I have my final picture, which is this one. Now, what I thought would be really fun is the page that I did is kind of a parallel page to this. They're quite similar, if you can see. So I thought what would be nice is to have them as kind of a paired set of pages, where this could maybe be a harvest moon and it could have an orangey style background or something like that. That's what I'm sort of thinking. But yeah, again, I've picked it out to show you and to kind of go through my ideas, but I do think it's unlikely that I will be able to get to this. But that is Shooting Star. Again, another book I think it's unlikely I'll get to is Vintage My Room, purely because I've just finished a page in it, but there are some autumnal pages in here. This one is not autumnal. The reason I picked this out is because November is my birthday month, and I might still be working in autumnal pages at that time. I don't know, but I don't know why I'm saying that, because it's not autumnal anyway. But I have picked this out, even though it's unlikely I'll get to this book, but I do really love that page. And then the autumnal picture that I picked out that I thought was really lovely was either of these pictures. I think both of them are lovely. But yeah, I have just completed, and when I say just completed, I completed this at the end of July. So yeah, that's obviously very recent, and I don't think I will be coming back to this book super quickly. So I want to just give other books a go as well. So that's the beautiful Vintage My Room, which I absolutely love. Then we have Seasonal Wreaths of Plants and Friends by Mikiko Notome, and I think I would like to prioritise working in Yururi Mouse Journey Sketch first, but there is a picture that I would love to do in here, which is this one. Now, over the couple of years that I've had this, I have ummed about which one is my favourite out of the autumn section, and it kind of changes every year, which I think is quite nice. I wanted something that didn't have too many florals or leaves in. A lot of the others do. I think I'd picked out, which one had I picked out to do last year? This one, I think. I just really like this one because it's something a bit different, and I'm not normally one for colouring food, but I actually think this is slightly different and will be really fun. So that's what I have picked out. It'd be nice to look at the colour inspiration as well. And then we have Beautiful Planet, which, as I said, is one that I'm very unlikely to get to because I've just completed my page in it. But there are a few autumnal pictures in here, and I just wanted to share them because this book definitely strikes me more as a summer book, but there are a few in here. I don't know whether that was intentional by Layla as well, to have the beautiful planet being more summery and the walk in the woods more autumn, but that's just what I feel about them. I picked this out last year, obviously didn't get to it. I did the page in Paula Brun's Animaux de Bois, which I'll show you next instead. So that was a good kind of compromise doing that page. And also I was put off starting this when I still had the double page spread as a whip. I don't really like starting a new page when I already have a whip on the go in a book, so that's that one. We have this one, which again isn't strictly autumnal, but it's one that I'd really like to do. These moths, I feel like they'd be beautiful to do and would give quite an autumnal feel with more muted tones. And the final one I have, I don't think is autumnal. No, it's not. I just love it. So that's always one that's going to be flagged for me. So that's Beautiful Planet. So then we have Animaux de Bois by Paula Brun, and like I said, the page that I did last year was this one, which is why I think it's unlikely that I will get to this. I don't think I completed this until the beginning of December though, because I started it at uni and didn't finish it. No surprise there. So I don't think I actually had a specific page picked out in here, because again, I think I would prioritise working in Fragile World first because it's an untouched book. So there definitely are pages in here that are autumnal, I think are beautiful. But yeah, that's one that I won't be getting to, I don't think, but it's nice to show anyway. And then the final book we have is Le Pays de Mauvais by Peggy Nille, and I would really like to get to this. I'm not sure why I've put it in the pile with books that I don't think I'll get to, because I'd really like to get to this. So I have a few picked out. There are definitely some double page spreads that could be autumnal. I think there's a mushroom double spread, but I just know that's really unlikely, so I'm not even going to bother flagging it. We have this one that I love with all the mushrooms. It's a nice contained scene as well. I think that's really gorgeous. I do also really love this page, and that's one that I would love to pick out for the winter season. I'm slightly kind of, it's tricky for me how I think these pages will look together when they're both done. I think that's something that I'd need to consider if I colour this one first or if I colour this one first, and make sure that there are some colours that I can transfer over. Obviously not everything will be the same, but I'd like some things to be cohesive because they're very different pages right next to each other. But I guess that's what this book is about, right? With all of the enchanted stuff, it doesn't really matter, so maybe I shouldn't be bogged down too much with the realism of it all. But then we have this one, which has a central mushroom house, which I really love. This one's giving more summer vibes to me with the giraffes, but I do love the mushroom and the leaves. Actually, they're quite summery. We have this one, which I really like. I think that could be a beautiful one for autumn. And that is everything. So yeah, let me just find that double page spread for those of you interested. There definitely was a huge mushroom spread that would be great. Yeah, this one. That would be a really good one. Again, it's quite summery, but you could do a really cool autumnal background for this, I think. That'd be really nice. So that's everything that I have to share with you. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I've loved flipping through my books and sharing pages that I could only dream of, you know, doing all of them. But it's nice to have an idea in my head of things that I would like to work on and get motivated about, and hopefully feel really inspired to do some of them. And I can't wait to share with you when it comes to, you know, a few months' time, which ones I managed to do. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it as always. And if you would like to leave a comment, please feel free. I always love reading through them and replying, and I'm getting better at replying now that I have a bit more time. But yeah, I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.